Hey everyone, it looks like we are alive. We made it to yet another Wednesday. I'm so glad you all are here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this Wednesday. Let me make this logo a little bit smaller there. Okay, put that there like that. So it's a cold February evening and we are warm, hopefully, just hanging out. We're going to go over some technique together. This is part 3 of painting the winter landscape in a portrait. So we're going to be working with some Wicked paint. We're going to be using some freehand shields, freehand stencils. It's going to be a lot of fun and we're going to learn a lot, hang out, have a good time. Great people. So I am so excited. So let's see who we have here today. Mr. Bobby all the way from Cape Cod. Great to see you, my friend. That is so cool. I'm so glad you're here. Mr. Dan, all the way from Indianapolis. How's everything going? Steve Leahy, right now in Massachusetts, hailing out of Ohio. We have Roy Color Graphics. How's it going? All the way from New Jersey. We have Mr. Oz, all the way from the Atlanta area. So we have Steve, Dan, Roy, Oz, Mr. Bobby, thank you so much for everyone hanging out. I mean, it's a great group already, so I'm really excited. So today what we want to do is we want to go ahead and start working on her hair, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I love working with hair, but you never paint it all at once. It's something that you paint throughout the painting. You know, you don't say, okay, I'm going to finish the hair and then move on to the head. I would never do that, because the hair is very complex and a lot of things going in and out and all that stuff. So first thing I want to do is thank God for the live stream, for giving me the opportunity to have this live stream, to have great people like all of you to, you know, take time out of your busy schedule. Very thankful for all of you, but without God, none of this is happening. So I just want to dedicate the live stream to him, as I should every live stream. So Mr. Mike McClung all the way from the Maryland area, and Mike Deloach, how's it going? Mike, it's been a while. I'm so glad you're here. Mike, you're a great friend of the channel. And if I'm not mistaken, and I probably am, are you in the Georgia area? Let me see if I'm wrong. And Mr. Air Todd, all the way from San Diego, how are you today? I'm so glad you're here. So we have a great group, and I'm just really excited about that. I just want to be thankful to Create Text Paints. Thank you to Badger Airbrushes. Thank you for Canson for supplying the paper. And thank you so much to Speedball Inc. Those are the big friends of the channel. Mr. Chris Garcia, how are you? Great to see you. Yeah, so I got it right, Mike. All right, so I got the state right, now the city. So really appreciate it. Chris, right out of New York State. So glad you're here, my friend. So just great. And we got Mr. Steve Leahy. What an honor to have him here. Great artist and great friend of the channel. So I'm so glad you're here, sir. So we're going to paint the hair. So what I'm going to do, Mr. Bobby says, thank you for my time and doing this for us. Thank you for coming, Bobby. And you know what? Great people like yourself. I mean, it's something I look forward to all week, to seeing you all, you know. So thank you for hanging out with me and taking the time out of your busy schedule. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my stencil, which has everything pretty much covered except for her hair. I'm going to put that. This is definitely glasses territory. Oh, you're very welcome, my friend. Very welcome. And let's see here. And so what I want to do, Michael, I want to talk to you about your shirt. Tomorrow I'll IM you and we'll go over everything, the status and everything. But I do have some ideas, and so thanks for your patience, Mike. I appreciate you. It's so difficult to kind of juggle everything, But I want to do something special for you, Mike, and I didn't want to do just the run of the mill. So so I hope that's okay. So now you see I'm covering her face, I'm covering the background, and we're going to spray her hair. So that's going to be great. Let's see. So the main thing is we have to get this correct so we don't have any kind of ghosting or double edges, right? We don't want double vision. That's always bad. Unless you're a foreigner. The rock group Foreigner, when they did that song Double Vision, which was great. Who out here remembers that song Double Vision by Foreigner? That was my first album was Foreigner 4. Great album. Let's see. All right, so now you see we have the hair uncovered, and let me get some little magnets for her. Well, thank you, Michael, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be beyond your expectations. And so, Mr. Travis, how's it going? Great to see you. So glad you're here. Let's see. We'll just put that right there. All right. So, let me get my reference picture of this beautiful young lady. Let's see. Here she is. Okay. So looking at her hair, it has some beautiful, reds in her brown hair. It's like a chestnut kind of color, and I really love that. So we're going to be working in Wicked paints, and let me zoom in, make sure I got the focus in, because nothing would be worse than having it not in focus. And I think that's a pretty good focus. There we go. So Travis, so good to see you, my friend, all the way from Minnesota. So glad you're here, my friend. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate what the color is, and that's going to be just one moment. And it's really great because I can pretty much nail that color pretty fast. Those of you take my mentorship class, you will actually know my unique technique for getting color, and it's very quick, and so definitely something to think about. You wouldn't get that anywhere else. It's not like anyone else's color theory. It's my very own. And so let's see. So I'm going to figure out. So I'm going to hit the lightest color of her hair at first, and then I'll slowly get darker. All right, so the color I'm going to start with is a nice, beautiful red. So I need like a really hot red, not a red that has a lot of, magenta in it. So let's see. We have Wicked Red, right? Here's one. And then we have let's see, we have Detail Scarlet, Wicked Crimson. You know what? I'm going to go with Wicked Red, I think. So let's go with Wicked Red. And we're going to mix that in one of these little cups here. We're going to mix that up really well. Mr. Dwayne, all the way from San Luis Obispo. How are you, my friend? Great to see you. I'm so glad you're here. So that is great. What a great group we have already. So I'm just honored for everyone to hang out with me, and how great that is, and I don't take it lightly. So I'm going to mix some of this red, as you can see. And so my 40-11, when I say 40-11 it's 1 to 3, okay? So 1 to 3, and we'll go ahead and mix that. And let's see. We're just going to mix this up really nice. So it's a pretty strong red. I'm going to mix that up really well. And now I'm going to figure out how can I make it this kind of chestnut color. Little hocus pocus, alakazam, all that stuff. No, we're not doing that. We're just going to do good old-fashioned color theory. So, now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and mix another color to that. Let's see. Let me see. Gotta get, I'm fairly organized compared to how I was in the past, but it doesn't mean I'm like 100% organized yet. I mean, I have all my wicked colors together. I just have to locate them usually. Let's see. Okay, so what we're going to do is, all right, so we got some black, some red. Let's see what else we're going to do. Okay, so, and then we are, okay, so now mix some of this, and then we're going to 4011 it, and that's 1 to 3. And we're going to mix this up really nice. And let's see, that's pretty good. So I'm fairly happy with it right now. I'm going to mix it up really good. And we're going to see if we can get that chestnut color together. All right, cup number 3. And right there. Let's mix this up. By George, I think I got it. Like I said, if you're interested in a very different avant-garde kind of color theory, take my mentorship class. That's where you will be privy to it. Real deep kind of dive. Remember, I'm classically trained in oils and, drawing the classical way at the National Academy School of Fine Arts. So I'm going to have an approach that's going to be slightly different than what you normally see. So, and I think I'm coming up with something pretty good. So let's go ahead and, so this is a very transparent color that I have here. And going transparent, let's see. Mike says hopefully this weekend he'll go see a motorcycle show. It's been a while since he's been to one. Hopefully they do not ask him to be a judge. That's cool. That is so cool. So that's great. And all right, so we want to test our spray before we put it on our artwork. So look how fast I nailed the color. And we're going to go ahead. We got to get our magnets, right? Because we don't want underspray. Underspray is not our friends. You guys are my friends, but underspray is not my friends. Oh, let's see. Oh, so Scott says, Down and Dirty Tricks, we had Down and Dirty Feeds. Oh, cool. Okay. And Mr. Colorgraphic says, great class. Are you talking about our class, Mr. Roy? Roy's one of my students for years. Great student, great guy. Mr. Dave Gregory, how are you, my friend? How's everything going? Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for hanging out on this Wednesday. I'm sure, thank you so much. Roy just gave a really nice testimony to the mentorship program. I appreciate you, Mr. Roy. He's just so much, I'm doing great, Mr. Dave. Thank you. Roy is such a pleasure to work with. I consider my students in the mentorship program people, colleagues that I work with, and that's what yous are. And I look forward to that so much. So right now I'm going over this very light color, and it's a transparent. And after this, I'm going to actually warm that up a little bit and work in layers. But what I want to do is I want to work so transparent that I can still see the color that I'm actually working with, right? I still want to see that color, that the lights and darks of the underpainting. I don't want to lose that. So, how's the weather over there in the Midwest, Mr. Dave? I know they say it's getting warmer, but it's still chilly out, Mr. Nameless, how you doing? Great to see you. I see Nameless at Mr. Bill Snagan's live stream, and it was just fantastic. Michael, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. That is just amazing. Thank you for hanging out and your support. It means the world to me, my friend. And I just want to let you know that every time you guys come to my live stream, I'm just so greatly encouraged and flattered and excited to be around such a great group of people. Mr. Dwayne, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. What an honor it is to have Mr. Dwayne here with all his knowledge, just dropping knowledge all the time, because he's been working in Wicked Paint, which I'm really trying to profile, and without the help of Steve Leahy and Dwayne, I would not be as proficient. So I just want to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Michael, for that amazing super chat. Thank you, Dwayne. You guys are just amazing. And, I can't do it without yous. And so thank you so much. That is so great. So now I'm coming in with this kind of purpley color. Let me mix this up a little bit more. So I know a lot of people use popsicle sticks, and that's a cool technique, the popsicle sticks. But I like getting these plastic palette knives that you can, get at Hobby Lobby or something like that. And this way you can just wipe it and reuse it. You're not, dealing with all of that. You're not dealing with popsicle sticks and running out of popsicle sticks and all that, I just fling the best he can and help out when possible. Oh, man. No, you help out all the time, sir, so I appreciate you. Mr. Dave says it's good, Tim, cool and breezy, but a calm day in Oklahoma. Wow, that is rare. And so that's cool. So let's kick it off with a bang. Definitely. Thank you for that early super chat, Mr. Michael. You are great. Michael Rushing, how's it going? Great to see you, my friend. I am so glad you're here. Thank you so much for the super chat. It's such a great help, and I'm so glad to see you. Mike's been doing some really amazing stuff in black and white. I just love it. And he's trying out the inks now. He tried the inks in the past, so he's great at it. And so I'm just looking forward to seeing what you're going to be doing in the future. And the work is just thrilling. I just want to say that. It really is. Just so excited. And thank you so much for the support, Mike. It goes such a long way. Really makes me feel very optimistic about the channel. Keep doing this. Keep it growing. Our channel is growing really. Our community, our channel is really growing nicely. So that's exciting. And Mr. Dave says, all those super chats are awesome, gents. Yes, thank you. It is so great the support you all give, and mainly coming and hanging out, which is really great. So this has like a purple tinge to it, but that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to warm this up, and I'm going to glaze some color on top of color. But I want to keep it very transparent because I want to come in with some of the darks. And so I don't want to hit those darks right away. I just want to do the light glazes. So it's a little bit, so one of the things that I do is I always refer to the color wheel, guys, which is really important. So looking at where I am, I'm probably shifted off into this direction, and I want to warm it up. So I could warm that up probably with a little bit of maybe some orange, and that will shift it over to the brown as well, which would be really nice. So let's get another cup, shall we, guys? And Mike says, I do it as little as I do it as a little appreciation of learning from your experience and knowledge. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that, Mr. Michael McGlung. I love the work you're doing. It's fantastic. So we're going to go with a little bit of orange. Let's see. We have detail orange, which is great. Let's see how that is. So we're going to take a little bit of this out. We're going to put it over here. So I believe orange is going to be a little weak, you know, but let's see. We're just going to put a couple of drops and see how this reacts. I like watching Steve Leahy's live streams because he's a master at color, and you know, it's just so great to see how he's just a virtuoso in color theory. So that's great to see. Mr. Nameless says, you do recommend your channel to others, even though I'm not here as much as I used to be, but most of the people watch other streaming platforms. Oh, that's all good, you know. You know, I want you all to get as many different influences as possible out there. So, but thank you for recommending, you know. That is cool. And I look at it this way. Those who are here are meant to be here. And those are someplace else are meant to be someplace else. So it's all good. It's all good, definitely. And let's see here. I'm going to go ahead. I wanted to, so I'm adding some orange, some detail orange. Because what this is going to do is going to shift it over to more of a brown. And you can see it already shifting a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty out this airbrush. And I made this little sprayer. Just took an old water bottle, put some paper towels in there, and opened up a little hole. So this way I could get rid of the spray without limited damage of respiratory issues. Okay. So now I'm going to run some water through that. Not 4011, but water. Let's see. But I just want to say thank you for everyone. The channel is growing really nicely, more than it has in years. And it's all because of you all, the great participation, the great questions, just hearing about your lives and everything and experiences. And that brings more people, so that makes me really thankful. Okay, so now we got this little more of a, see how that's more of a brownish red? That orange really shifted it in that direction. And once again, I just want to make sure that I'm not losing the hard work that I did earlier in the painting. And Mike Russian says, as Steve Leahy, when do you do your live streams? Oh, great. Yeah, so he does a couple. I'll just say, you know, I know he's going to respond, but He does Thursdays on YouTube on his channel at 1 p.m. Eastern. And he does YouTube, Facebook. That is at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Mondays. And on Mondays on Facebook, he gives away a painting every week. Original painting. So how is that for amazing? So those are two I know. And so that's really cool. Okay, so now you see we have this here. And I'm kind of liking the color, you know, I'm kind of digging it. And now what I'm going to do is probably start coming in with the darker color. Now, since this is a transparent, I could pretty much just go over it. And, you know, transparent, as you use transparents, each layer is going to get darker. So we're just going to reiterate what I did during the underpainting. And then we're going to come in. I always like coming in with regular paintbrush techniques after that, so that's cool. So the 3-to-1 is really nice because it has that sort of inky consistency. But I know what many might be thinking, well, if it's so thin, it's not going to be strong. And that kind of falls right in my wheelhouse because I like building up value. I like building up color. So, you know, having it on the thin side kind of fits my MO and my, you know, my working method. Now you got to watch out for the magnets because a lot of times if they're high enough, they're going to cause a shadow. And you're going to think that, you know, it's already dark, but it's the shadow from the magnet. So be wary of that. There we go. So you see, I'm working on that. Mr. Dave, thank you so much, my friend. That is so great. So kind, so generous. And I just want to say, to the bottom of my heart, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time out of your week to hang out with me. And just a huge amount of encouragement that I get from your generosity and hanging out. I just want to say thank you so very much. It's rare I'm speechless, but I am speechless, sir. So, all the way from Oklahoma. Did I tell you I have some friends out in Choctaw? Is that far from you? Because I know you're not from Oklahoma City. I think you're from Tulsa area, if I'm not mistaken, which I probably am. So I do have a friend over there in Choctaw. And I know that was a tribe of Indians, right, sir? And so, you know, he's a great guy and you're a great guy, so just thank you so much. I definitely got to visit Oklahoma. That's all there is to it. Great people like yourself out there, sir. Definitely have to take a trip out there. And that's one of the things I'm going to start doing is travel a little bit more in 2024, God willing. And, you know, to do some shows, especially out there. Lawton. Now, where is Lawton in respects to Oklahoma City and Tulsa? Is it near one of the big cities, or is it kind of rural? So, oh, okay. So it is near. So it is near Tulsa. And it's always good to ask, are you a Sooner or Cowboy fan, right? Oklahoma Sooner or Oklahoma State Cowboys, I think, right? OSU are the Cowboys and the Sooners are the Oklahoma, I believe. Great football state. So Michael asked Dave if he does any hunting out there. So as you can see, guys, I'm just slowly building this up, getting the kind of underlying structure of her hair. And like I said, we're going to be doing lots of layers, but we're kind of taking a regular black and white underpainting, making it a color underpainting, which is fantastic. Okay, so I think we're okay for the hair for now. And we're not going to do any kind of erasing, so that's good. Whoop, drop the cap. Southwest Oklahoma, opposite of Tulsa from Oklahoma City. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's cool. That is very cool. Yeah, there's a lot of America I still have to. So you see how, you know, we have a good setup. I have a nice high saturation, which is really good to start building up, you know. All right, so now we're just going to leave that alone, setting her up there. And let's go ahead and work on some of the areas we really haven't touched. You know, the pomegranate, that's going to be really beautiful. It's a beautiful red. So the first thing I like to do is to go ahead and work on the local color, right? Not the shadow, not the dark, but the local color. And the local color is basically the color of an object unaffected by light and shade. So if it's a lemon, that would be yellow. If it's an orange, that would be orange. If it's a person, that would be the overall skin tone, you know, and so that would be great. Plenty of fishing, but no hunting at this point. Wow. What kind of fishing? Well, would it be largemouth bass? You have those out there, Dave? I have a friend out in California. He paints fishing lures, which is really good with the airbrush. Have you ever thought of doing that, Mr. Dave? That would be pretty cool. So what I want to do is I want to isolate the pomegranate and everything else being covered. And let's see if I have that. Yes, I do. So we'll come right over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we get those edges correct. Because right now the edges are her hand. So we don't want to mess that up. That means there will be a lot of work to fix if we have to correct around her hand. So I don't mind correcting around her, you know, around the pomegranate or something like that. But having to fix the hand, that's a lot of work because you have anatomy involved and all of that good stuff. Let's see. So we want to make sure we get our magnets, but we just have to make sure that we're not creating cast shadows onto the pomegranate. And I want you all to take your time. So if you see here, what I did was I combined the pomegranate with the lips. But I don't want to overspray. And remember, the best defense is not to be there, right? So we're just going to put this here like so. And Mr. Dave says bass, catfish, sunfish, whatever wants to take the bait. That's cool. I used to, in the Hackensack River in New Jersey as a kid, I used to hunt for carp. And of course you couldn't eat them, but they were like incredible fighters. They would go up to like 12 pounds out of the Hackensack River, and that was pretty wild. You get any carp? And if you do, have anyone ever eaten carp? So that's interesting. So I'm going to go back to we're going to go back and try and get the color of our pomegranate. Okay, so I am seeing a red. So again, I think I'm going to go with this color right here, which is our Wicked Red, I believe. And so we just, let me see what color that was. Yes, Wicked Red 0005. And so that's really on the strong side. And let me make sure I get that again. Okay. So now what is I want to do is I want to make sure that it is super saturated, but I want to make sure it's not too saturated, right? No carp yet. We used to have to land carp from a bridge that was like, you know, like an overpass. So we had to like drag it all the way over, and someone had to go to the shore and grab them. We drew them back, thank goodness. They were huge. Okay, so we are looking at this color. Okay. Okay, let me make sure that I got the right mixture. Okay, great. So now I'm going to go ahead and mix my color next to it. It'll be Colette, how's it going? Thank you so much, Colette, all the way out of Wisconsin. The Midwest is really showing up today. So cool. So Colette is from Wisconsin. She's one of my students and always a pleasure. You know, she's such a great friend to our community here, and you know, you showing up is a real shot in the arm. But you know, and then a super chat is just outrageous. I just want to say thank you so very much, Colette. I really, really am so excited. Oh, so Colette says I'm a fabulous mentor. Oh, thank you. Well, you're a great student, and it's like my honor to be your mentor. So thank you so much, and thank you for coming to the live stream. I mean, that is just so fantastic to see you. Colette is doing great with color theory right now. It's just blowing my mind how good she's doing. And Dave says, sounds like salmon fishing the Black River in Watertown, New York. Paying to get them to the shore. Yes, it is so hard because, you know, the fishing pole was bending like almost at a 90-degree angle. Definitely. So that was, so salmon fishing, that must be way up there by Canada. Is that correct, sir? Because I know we don't have any salmon here, unfortunately, in the Northeast. So I want to make sure that I mix this other color correctly. So I'm going to get some eyedroppers, and what I want to do is when I'm mixing my colors, I want to do it by drops. So that's basically where I'm heading. Okay, so I think I have the two colors, and now, like a mad scientist, I'm going to put them together. And, well, we got to get that wicked red again. Got to make sure. Put that in. We got a 4011 it. So the thing is, you want to, when you're mixing your colors, you want to make sure that, you know, the consistency is similar, right? You don't want one at full strength and one, you know, 3-to-1 with 4011 because you're not going to get a true mixture. So that has to be, you know, pretty much they have to have the same consistency when mixing them because you're going to change how they're going to react. A thicker pink consistency is going to have more pigment than something that is thinned out, right? So what we're going to do is we are doing that, and let's see how this is. Oh, put some of that in here. That looks pretty good. So we'll stick with this and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and let's get the second airbrush going, the Extreme Patriot 105, your friend and mine. There we go. And let's go ahead and load that together, guys and girls. And so Michael says, we have a lot of fishes around here, but the best one is the nice big rockfish. Oh, the rockfish. What exactly is that? Now, that's in Maryland, so there's a lot of good saltwater fishing in Maryland. That's cool. And Brad, who is usually here on the live stream, he does ice fishing, which is just incredible. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this color thus far. And let's go ahead and do the local color. I'm going to be about 6 inches away. And it's coming a little bit on the magenta side, but that's okay. We're going to do maybe a little more pure of that red. There we go. And Steve Lake says not to be, oh, with Rock Lobster. That's true. Now, wasn't that a B-52 song? Which, you know, I'm kind of dating myself there. Now, we do have a little bit of light, so I'll just kind of spray around where that highlight is. And we'll just put this here. And let's see. So I think it's more of a fire engine red, but it's just our first application. And of course the forbidden pomegranate. Ryan, how's it going? Great to see you all the way from Canada. How's everything? Loving your work. There we go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump this out and I'm going to put some straight red just as a nice glaze. You know, I know it's a little daring to go straight red, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going all out. Let's see here. We'll get some of our wicked red. Oh yes, so Steve knows about Rock Lobster. They were great, weren't they, the B-52s? They were so bizarre. But I always liked kind of left of center music, especially when I was in high school. But then again, you know, did the usual, you know. And Mr. Dave is laughing at the Rock Lobster. That's cool. I'm going to 311 this 311 this red. Now when I come in with the opaques, because the Wicked line has some really nice opaques, and I'll come in with that a little bit later, but definitely going to rock those opaques when the time comes. I like building on the opaques. Okay, here we go. There we go. Because that's like a real beautiful red, that pomegranate. Here we go. We're going to do a test. See that nice deep red, more orange in it, less purple. One good tip I got from Steve Leahy's live stream, when you're doing something like this and you don't want underspray, you want to lessen it, you go straight up and down. Or straight, a straight run as opposed to coming in an angle. So great tip from Steve Leahy. Another reason why, tomorrow at 1 o'clock on his YouTube channel, you get great jewels of knowledge there. So we're going to take this off, and we're just kind of moving fast, right? But taking our time as well. Mr. Brad Mummery, just talking about your ice fishing exploits. What is the fish that you catch in Manitoba with the ice fishing? So it's so cool if you haven't seen some of his stuff, So that's great. So there's our pomegranate, and I think we nailed it. I might go a little bit more orange. I might lay some orange on there, but I'm liking that thus far. And let's see. Very cool. Michael says you will love rockfish because we stuff it with crab meat. Holy cow. Does that sound amazing? So Brad says he catches these long, thin fish called northern pike, also known on north of the border as jackfish, which is really cool. Are they good eating there, Brad? And let's see. So Colette says, the great ice fisherman has arrived. Yes. That is Mr. Brad Mummery. That is for sure. So now we're going to continue kind of mapping her out. So last week we did the laying in of her flesh tones, using the Lifeline colors. And now we went in and kind of laid in her hair. And so I have a nice kind of warm chestnut color to start that with. And now we have the pomegranate. So putting down that pomegranate is almost like keying the portrait in a sense. We know where our deepest red is, and everything's going to pretty much play off of this. So that's going to help us. That's probably the most saturated in the whole painting. And Steve says, hit that like button, folks. Thank you, Mr. Steve Leahy. I appreciate that. The like button is always appreciated, and the algorithm and all that stuff. So that is very well appreciated. Thank you. So now let me look at her jacket. So I am thinking it might be time to lay in some of the jacket color. And let's see. So that's a good idea. So it's all about laying in. So I did a regular video on the background, how I kind of went in with the background and kind of got that kind of soft focus thing going on, and making the snow. So the snow, even though it's white, is really like maybe like a number 3, a number 7 gray. So we don't want it to compete with the whites and the contrast in her face. Brad Mummery, thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure to hang out with you. Great to be working with you in the mentorship program. Just having so much fun hanging with you, and thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that, my friend. So thank you for your kindness and your friendship. You guys and girls are all so fantastic. I just can't thank you enough, honestly. I really can't. And so I appreciate you, definitely. So now we are going to look for the color of her jacket. And we want to take our time. There's no rush, right? Again, we're looking for a nice kind of, I don't know, like a mid-tone, like a local color, right? So let's see. We'll local color this. And, all right, so our main color, and I always look at my color wheel. So our main color we're going to put is almost like a pure orange. Let's go for that. Let's see, get our cup. And we'll come over here. Great. Okay. end. Alright, so we're going to go with our orange. We're going to go with detail orange. Okay, I'm just going to put 5 drops in there. And then we're going to mix our other color. I like the detail smoke black. If you ever want to make anything a little bit darker but you don't want to commit, so the detail smoke is a nice non-committal kind of darkening color because it's so transparent, super transparent. Let's see what I missed. Brad says, well, at least I can do. The classes are such a bargain. Wow, that means a lot to me, Mr. Brad. Thank you. I mean, it's such an honor to be able to have great students, great artists like yourselves, great people to hang out with. I think that's just above and beyond amazing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this until I get what I'm looking for. That's pretty darn close, I must say. Okay, so I have the consistency I want, so I'm happy with the consistency. I'm just going to wipe off. The rag gets really nasty. And also, I got to make sure that I'm not transporting tape onto my little top here. Okay. So, now we are going to, now that pomegranate red, that's going to be like really difficult to clean. So, not that I don't want to clean it, but I'm going to take this color and I'm going to transport it. Remember, that was her hair. And we're going to just put some water in there, wipe the cup a little bit, and we should be okay. Let me see what I missed. Mike says, Steve Leahy, I did figure it out what his next car painting is going to be, but he has to set up the ready-to-go 62 Corvette with a... Oh, wow. So, do you have a 62 Corvette, my friend? Wow, that's something. I love vets. I remember when I was going to high school and art school, and I would take the bus into the city, into Manhattan every day. And every day we would, the regular New Jersey Transit bus used to go, and there was this like maybe 78. It was a 1978 Burgundy Corvette. It was just so darn beautiful. And I used to always be so attentive when it actually came. I would always really just salivate over that car. Never got my vet, but that's okay. But it's really cool. And 62 is a great one, yeah. Okay, so I want to paint her jacket and nothing else. Now, do we have that? I don't know. I don't know if I actually made a jacket stencil. I don't think I did. But let's see. We may have to do it the old-fashioned way. Let's see here. I think we're good because I think I have one from the left and one from the right. So let's see what this is. Okay, here we are. So we'll cover this way. I mean, we're still going to have to be careful. And then this way, we can cover here. So we're really protecting the background. We don't want jacket color onto the background. That would not be good, right? So, and I'll just have to be a little careful. A lot careful. So I have this color in my airbrush, and I want to make sure I don't kill, because it is a little bit of a opaque color because of the amount of white I put in there. But I had to, because that's the color in question. So I guess what I'll do is probably use this freehand shield, and okay. Okay, so you guys and girls could see how we're starting to kind of get some tone in her jacket here. And bring up, you got to make sure that because if your freehand stencil is not in the right spot, it's worse than having no stencil. So remember that. And then we'll put this here. Okay. So this is going to be really important now. This is going to be your saving grace as far as the painting is concerned. And you guys see what I did there? I accidentally put the other airbrush color in, but no worries. Just make more work for myself. But a little hint of red ain't gonna hurt. So I'm just going to just start spraying in ever so lightly the jacket. But I still want to be light enough so I'm not losing the, still light enough where I'm not losing the hard work I did when we were working with the India ink in the very beginning a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to be doing so many layers of color. So, you know, even though there's a little red there, it's going to be long gone by the time we're done with the painting. So, you know, when you're working and you make a little mistake, don't get emotional about it. Just know that in the process, it's going to not be a hill of beans. And so let's see what we have. Michael says, if you thought the GTO was nice, this is going to look even better. Oh, man, that's great, Mike. Ryan says he just finished a small piece of his dad's 67 Cyclone for him. Cars are so difficult for me. Steve makes it easy. He does, that's for sure. Brad says Steve has a video out his Patreon that shows the process step by step. Oh, that's really cool. What a great resource that is. So as you can see, we're just kind of putting in some color. And this color that I'm putting in is sort of like a light beige. I like this pose. It's a very intimate, kind of emotional pose going in with the whole Persephone series. So I didn't finish the last Persephone, but I want to show you where I am with it. I'm almost done. Let me show you how far that one has come. Here we go. So still working on this other Persephone, as you can see. And there she is. Let me darken that just a bit. So that's where we are with Persephone here. I'm actually started working in on some of the fur, really getting in there with the texture. And I'm doing a lot of paintbrush techniques with that. And so I just want to take it to that next level. I'm going to be working on the background a little bit, working on some of the textures of her lips, and just taking that to the next level, and hopefully she'll go to that level. So still with the Persephone series, and of course it's going to be cropped right here. And so I'm excited. I plan on having this series exhibited as one show, and that's what I'm working on with a gallery, to have maybe 15 of them of different sizes of Persephone. Michael says, nice one. He could almost smell the leather on that bomber jacket. Thank you, Michael. Brad says, looks great. I appreciate that. So you can definitely see where I'm going. You know, it's a slow process. I'm in no rush. And it's all about just building things up and sticking with the program. Even if your mind is telling you, no, this is not it, you know, you still have to go down that road and follow the process. And this layer is by far not going to be, you know, the end all and be all, but this is where we're kind of beginning, you know. Steve Leahy says, paint loves to adhere to paint. So that's what we're doing. Putting those first layers of paint on there, which is really good to do. Here it's much darker, so I'm just going to let that sit a little bit. And then what we'll do now, after this, we'll kind of do the first layer of her sweater. And I'm kind of going to set that up with some of that orange mixture, because we want a bright color. Okay, let's see. Oh, Mr. Raoul, great to see you all the way from New Jersey. How's it going? Raoul says, hey Tim, what brand of inexpensive paint brushes would you recommend? Ink and acrylic. I'll tell you. I like going to Hobby Lobby, and you're in Jersey. I know they have a Hobby Lobby there. I think a Blick is too expensive. I want to show you this set that I pick up. I always pick up these like cheap sets. They're like $5.99 at Hobby Lobby. This is by Royal and Langnickel, and they have a whole set, and I like getting them. Also, call Hobby Lobby and figure out what day it is. Because each week, sometimes the brushes are 40% off, sometimes they're full price. And the brushes that they have are Artist Touch brushes. And here's one that I got. It's so great. Master's Touch. It's a liner brush. And this was like on sales, like $1. You get the same brush and you go to Blick and they want to charge you like $6. So just call ahead of time. Hobby Lobby, hey, how's it going? Are the brushes on sale? Yes, they are. Go down there and get you some. They're 40% off. This one was like $3. And then with the 40% off, it was like $1 something. So this I love. And it's only $1 something. It's like getting a bag of potato chips. If, you work with Wicked or whatever and it gets destroyed, no problem. It's not that big of a loss. So definitely. And here's the thing, I even use them with oils too, so they're great to use. So I hope that helps. But that's just me, and I'm doing a lot more paintbrush techniques. Now here's one good tip, and Steve Leahy told me about this one. This is the small version. Mr. Leahy has the larger version. This is the Red Grass wet palette. And this is the Wet Palette Light. I like it because it fits right here on my work area. And what it does, it has a piece of kind of like foam. And then you have this kind of rice paper. And you wet the foam. And so I painted, so this paint is from yesterday, right? So now if I wanted to, let's say, come back and work on the painting I want, and I want to use this. Look at this. This is from yesterday. And this is Createx illustration paint. So how cool is that? So and Steve could attest, if you were to work with just a Createx illustration paint, this would be unusable within 10 minutes. But now you can see it's a full 36 hours and it's fully usable. So that would save you so much money. I know you do a lot of paintbrush techniques, Mr. Raoul. So I think there's a link in the description of this particular video where you can actually get that. And I don't know, it might be a affiliate link. If it does, I get a teeny tiny commission, but highly recommend this, guys. Oh, cool. So Mr. Dave says that's awesome. Yes, the wet palette. And this comes with a little band to keep that nice and tight. And I put it to the side. I can come back tomorrow and start working. And I'm going to show you two things it comes with. So this right here is the foam that comes with it. You get two of them, and then you get these little like rice paper. They're called hydration sheets. You get 50 of them. So you're set for a good year, I would say. And you can purchase them on the internet, really inexpensive. So that's really cool. So I subscribe to the 70-30 rule, and this is something that a guy called Dave, oh man, he was my first airbrush teacher, and he basically said the 70-30 rule, which is 70% airbrush, 30% everything else. Paintbrush, maybe a little bit of colored pencil, stuff like that. So I do that, and sometimes I do more, so this technique of the wet palette is really great. And, oh, Mr. Mike says the exact same thing, wet palette, and the paint will last weeks. So true. So Mr. Raoul works with a wet palette, and so does Mike and Steve. Yes, they are synthetic, definitely. I go with synthetic for the most part because they're a lot cheaper, and I don't see a real problem with synthetic to natural. But then again, I'm not a connoisseur of paintbrushes, more so when I'm working in oils, but still, you know, whatever spreads the paint out, that's all I really care about. That's for sure. I should care more. Okay, so we're going to continue with this color here. We have the red. We're not going to make that mistake again. Famous last words, right, guys? Oh, you're welcome, Raoul. That is so cool. And remember, Hobby Lobby, call first. You don't want to go all the way down there and they'd be full of price, you know? So definitely call first. Michaels has them on sale too. That's a good thing. You know, as long as it spreads the paint the way you want. But I know if you're doing like real tight detail, like small detail, then the best brush in the world would be the best. Okay, so we have a nice kind of setup. So what I'm going to do is just take this off and see what our jacket looks like. And this is just sort of, you know, laying down the paint. Let's see what we have. Okay, great. So we have the color, the main color that I'm very happy with. And maybe I could go ahead and kind of put some, there's no color there, there's no paint there, so even though it's going to be darker, I'm just going to lay this in there. Because paint likes paint, you know, when I come in with the darker. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh my God, where does the shadow go? And getting a nice feel about it. Okay, cool. So let's see what we have. Very nice. So we're at 1040. Does anyone want to have their work? Because every week I always offer, does someone want to have their work previewed so the community can see it? Anyone who, I'll just go onto their Facebook, grab a picture and put it up there. So let me know. I'd be glad to give somebody in the community some, you know, well-deserved attention. So that would be cool. So now we have this, and what are we going to do now? So I think we're going to work on her shirt, her sweater. And I think I'm going to attempt to lighten this up because it's a little dark, this area right here. Oh, look at that, nominate Roy. Well, Roy has to decide if he wants to, but definitely some great work that Mr. Roy does, so that's cool too. So it's always up to you guys. So here we have that red, and ooh, that's still strong. So let's go with this color right here, and we're going to clean this out. Actually, we'll put that in here because we may need that that color. So Roy, would you like to show one of your works to the audience? If not, that's cool. That's up to you, my friend. And oh, people are wanting you to show your work, Roy. Now I do have a picture of your horse painting that you did, which is really great. If you want to show that, Mr. Roy. The tiger, you got a lot of really great pieces. But, you know, it's up to you, my friend. I don't know if Roy's here. So, let's see. Roy does some really fantastic work. He does t-shirt work. He does paintings on wood, paintings on canvas. Really great stuff. Really, really excited to work with him. Roy says, I'll send a picture. That's good. Okay, great. All your work is good, my friend. Let's see. And take your time. If you can't do it tonight, we'll do it for next week. So no rush. Don't want to put you on the spot. Let's see. So what I want to do is I want to mix some of this orange and white mixture here. And we'll see. One of the things I've been doing, guys, oh, Tina Turner. I love that painting. Yes. Yeah, Roy did a painting of Tina Turner out of this world. So, yes. And let's see here. Very cool. Let's see. So I'm going to take some of my orange and white mixture and I'm going to attempt to lighten this area up to set it up because it is a little dark from the underpainting. And sometimes that happens. Let's see. So I pre-mixed this and you see from January 24th, it was the orange and white mixture. And we'll see how this goes. I just lost my cap. Let's see. Where's my cap? Almost got it. Great. And I think I got an IM. Let's see. Oh, from Roy. And so I don't have Roy's painting of Tina Turner yet. Let's see. I think I have the picture of Tina. Take your time, Mr. Roy, no rush. And so we're cleaning out this brush right here. Put some more water through it. And this fell on the floor, and there's some cat hair on there. Cat hair in your airbrush is not a good thing. I haven't experienced that, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be a bad happening. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this. One of the things I've been doing is I was shaking my red today, and I didn't have it fully closed, and there was red everywhere. So when you shake your colors, please make sure that you don't do what I did, which is quite embarrassing, and have red everywhere. And I had one of my paintings out, but luckily it didn't hit. So that was a relief. Okay, so we're going to test this out. We'll test it on here. Now I'm not sure if this orange mixture is going to lighten this area, because you might not have enough orange in it. It might go blue, and if you have too much orange, you'll go orange. So what I'm going to do is just test it right in this spot here. And I think it's okay. Mr. Gregory says, glad I'm not there on that one that has done that. Glad you're not the only one who's done that. Oh, you too, sir. Oh, that's a real humbling experience, right? And I did that in front of a student today, and that was funny. So as you can see, it's working really well to lighten it, because I have to set up the color because it's really quite bright. And you know, once it's dark, if you go over it with a transparent, it's never going to get the light value you're looking for. So here's something that you all should think about. Public libraries are great places to show your work, and especially public libraries in affluent areas. And who out there has shown their work at a public library? I'd love to hear. And you can see this light color goes all the way up to her hair. Just like that. So you see how we're creating that kind of three-dimensional quality. Now I haven't let me see, I think I received a photo. I received a photo, but not the actual painting, sir. Unless that is your painting, that would really blow my mind. Let's see. You've done great work like this, so it's not beyond. Let's see. So let me download this, and I'm going to send it back to you. You let me know if that's the picture in question. Okay, Roy? Let's see. So I went ahead and downloaded it, and then I'll send it back. Now, is that one I just sent you, is that the painting or the reference for the painting? And so basically what I like to do is coat the bottom of the cup with maybe 1/8 of the white, and then maybe 2 drops of the orange, the detail orange, and then 3 to 1 with the 4011 to get what I'm looking for. Okay, so you see how I'm creating that kind of light that's hitting that part of her sweater. And let's see if we're seeing that similar light elsewhere. That might be the only rim of light, but no, I do see right here on this sleeve. So we're going to come and hit this sleeve here. And you see how we're kind of creating that kind of feeling of her having this really beautiful warm outfit on this chilly day. this winter landscape. There we go. See how we're kind of setting that up for ourselves, which is really good. That's why we want to do it. We want to set it up. And we got a lot to go. Wow, let's go ahead and show you this. This is going to blow everyone's mind. So let's see. So here we go. We're going to add Mr. Roy. Okay, so I'm going to add this picture, and this is of Tina Turner by Mr. Color Graphics himself. Okay, so this is Mr. Roy's painting of Tina Turner. That is absolutely incredible. Look at that. That is great. Look at all the texture and the hair. That's just out of this world. So really great job. And he said on canvas, which is unbelievable. That is really great. And James, how's it going, James? We call covering the bottle top before shaking, taking the time to comb your hair, as in if you knew he was going to meet the mayor, he would have taken the time to comb his hair. That's good. I like that. That's definitely good. Look at everyone, how incredible that piece is, Mr. Roy. That is just unbelievable. Look at that sternocleidomastoid and the clavicle. I mean, that's just out of this world. Really incredible. Wow. That is so, everyone's so impressed, Mr. Roy. That is just amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And just incredible, the work that you do. And it's an honor to work with you, sir. So look at all that. I thought it was the photograph. That's how fantastic this is. The lips, the eyes. I mean, everything about this is just incredible. Just amazing. Look at everyone, Raul and we got Dave and James and Dwayne and Michael, Ryan, just Brad. Everyone is just totally, and that's why I do this, because I want to share just, the amazing talent that's out there. Oh, I'm honored you say that. Roy says because of my classes. Well, my job is just to amplify your talent. That's all my job is, as a teacher. If I can amplify, turn up that volume of what's already there, that's what's important. So next week, if anyone right now wants to be profiled next week, just let me know. I'll be more than happy. To profile your work next week. So that's going to be great. And thank you once again, Mr. Roy, for showing this amazing work. Let me see. Okay, great. So as you can see, we're working on just getting some of the lights. Wow, 2 weeks to paint. That looks like it's at least a 30-hour painting with all that detail. So that looks incredible. So right now, we're just laying in certain areas. We laid in that. And, Mr. Dwayne also agrees that working with detail sepia is really nice. So I'm going to start kind of sketching some of the darks with the detail sepia, which is going to be great. Michael says we're all just a rock, Tim, and just carve stone out of us. That's so funny, But yeah, we are all diamonds in the rough, right? Every one of us. And that's why we continue just working, just putting in those hours, right? Just put those hours in. It's like money in the bank, and it's going to pay off. And we just know it is. And you see work like Mr. Roy's, and you say, yep, that does pay off. So definitely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the orange because we'll need that orange mixture here and there. But I'm going to finally clean out this red from the pomegranate. It's super red. Let's see. Put that down there. And now what we'll do is we'll clean out this airbrush. And I'm actually going to go to the sink, because at this point, if I was to try and work it, I think I would have more problems than not. So we're going to go ahead. Oh, we have 15 people watching. Thank you so much. It's so great to have a nice, healthy audience out there. Once again, I just want to thank God for all the opportunity to have this live stream and have great people hang out with me. So I am going to take my handy dandy wrench, a couple of cucumbers, not cucumbers, Q-tips. I said cucumbers. I think I might be hungry. So take a couple of cucumbers, and I will be right back. Talks amongst yourselves, guys, and I'm just going to clean this out really, really fast. I'm going to take a paper towel, and I'll be right back. Give me about 1 minute, 40 seconds. Okay, not too bad. And going to do is put this here, and now we can go ahead and load our sepia, detail sepia, which is a great color. And let's see what I mixed. I missed. Mr. Michael say, oh, okay, so I didn't miss anything, so that's cool. So now, got a very clean airbrush. But remember the cap, how important it is to clean that cap, because some color will actually get right there and could really ruin your color, really contaminate it. So we want to be careful of that. Okay. So we're going to go with Your Friend and Mine Detail Sepia. Let's see. Where is that? It's in here somewhere. Here it is. Detail Sepia. Great color 0070. And I'm going to put that in a cup. When I do live streams, I do use a lot of paint, but I don't use this much paint. I go a little slower when I'm working on my own. So I'm going to mix this 3-to-1 as well. You see how thick it comes out. And then we'll take our 4011, which this bottle is running low. Let me get another bottle. There we go. We'll pull this bottle out. Okay. So I want to do a 3-to-1 with this detail sepia. And it feels like ink, and everyone knows I love ink, right? So that's my thinking behind it. And we're going to mix this up really well. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of hit some of those darks, kind of, you know, do a little sketching. It's a nice transparent color that isn't really making you commit to anything just yet, which I like. Okay, so we just cleaned this guy up, and let's go ahead and put this sepia color in. It's sort of a multi-purpose, you know, just kind of going in and kind of, you know, putting in some nice detail here and there. Let's test it out. Airbrush. Whenever you clean an airbrush, you want to make sure it's operational. Doing everything I want so far, which is good. Oh, Michael says, have a great night. Great to see you. Don't work too hard, Michael. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I will IM you tomorrow. So thank you again for your friendship and hanging out with us. I mean, it means the world to me, sir. So that is just amazing. What a great friend to the community. So that is great. Okay, so I'm going to be about 4 inches away. So one of the things I want to talk about is how distance is really important, right? Distance is so crucial to get the intensity of whatever you're painting, right? So if I'm up close, I'm going to get a really super dark. If I'm far away, I'm going to get a nice lighter version of that color. It's going to be softer edged. It's going to do something different. So with the same color, you can do something totally different, which is great. So always remember, distance is a really good thing to keep in your toolbox. And I'm going to, remember, you want to cover what you don't want to paint. So this way you could, you know, put tone where you want to paint. So that is really cool. And let's see. So we are at the 11 o'clock hour. That is great. So this live stream is going so well. Thanks to everybody. And you see how now we're just starting to put some body into the jacket. And then we're going to come in with some of the darks here. Kind of. Just so, it was kind of like sculpting at this point, you know? That's what it feels like, sculpting. So over the weekend, God willing, I will be working on my oil painting, which is oil painting. The series is oil painting for airbrush artists and the possibilities. So I will be doing that, continuing that live stream series as well. And I think that could really open up, you know, a lot of creative A lot of creative options that you didn't think of before, which is great. I don't want to go too dark. I just want to slowly establish some of these values here, right down here. And again, this is kind of like sketching, I would say. You know, that's what this is. This is the sketching portion of today's show. We have some beautiful darks here. Why not now? And this sepia is like working with my Airbrush India inks. So I mixed it 3-to-1 and it's just flowing really nice. Just really doing what I wanted to do. Right here, going to make sure we cover up her sleeve. So you maintain that edge there. And then we'll bring this up. Make sure you wipe off your freehand shield as you're putting this in. There we go. Just kind of getting that look there. And then we'll just keep moving around, right? We're just sketching things. Now this isn't as dark as the values are going to be because we want to add tone to this. So we're kind of setting up, but we're still kind of making sure that we have the bones of the painting, the value bones, I should say. Right over here, we want to maintain this corner here. So we'll do it in 2 parts. So right here, we'll spray out to maintain that part of the collar. And then right here, and you want to do perpendicular because otherwise you'll cross, and you don't want to cross. So you see how we maintain that corner, which is really very, very important. Right here we have a nice dark edge, so we're going to wipe our freehand shield and we're going to make this turn here. And again, you know, just remember that this is something that, you know, you're thinking like weeks ahead of time. Not if you were working, but I'm working in a live stream series, so I'm thinking maybe like week number 5 or number 6. Even though I'm in week number 3 as far as some of my decision making. Right here we have a nice dark here. So we're going to do perpendicular and not parallel. See that? Wipe our freehand shield. Come over here. So how's everyone's February been so far? Because my February's been a little rough, but, you know, just staying positive, right? And, you know, the Wednesdays are so great. I look forward to them. But, you know, how's your February so far? I know, Dwayne, you guys are having some trouble out there in California. Is that affecting you in your area? I know a lot of mudslides and stuff happening. Now what we can do, since I'm mapping out a lot of this stuff, maybe I could go ahead and cover her so I can hit some of the darks of the tree. Really get her like really weighted. Give her some heaviness, right? That's important. Let's see what freehand stencil we can put there now. This is a good one. So what I could do is put this over there, and I could do some of the darks around her hand on the tree there. That would be good to do. This way we don't contaminate the skin color and the pomegranate with the sepia, right? We don't want to do that. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Dwayne says, heck yes, without power for a day and a half. Oh my God, man, I'm so sorry. Tons of rain and high winds. Even had a funnel touchdown about 17 miles away. Oh my God, I'm glad you're okay. So sorry that's happening. Excuse me. I sneezed. So Mr. Todd says he's fine. 10 minutes away in the valley was pretty bad. Wow. California's having a tough February, right? To say the least. I'm so glad you're okay, though. Wow, that's... You know, no place is really immune to natural disasters, right? You got Northern California, you know, with the earthquakes, and you have tornadoes in Oklahoma, right, Mr. Dave? Here in the Northeast, we have now hurricanes, and we have really bad snowstorms possible. So every place has its really dark side. But I'm so sorry you're going through that, Dwayne and Todd. You know, be careful. And now you see I'm putting in these magnets. So today we touched on a few things. We touched on distance with the airbrush, closer for darker, pulling away is going to give you a softer, lighter color, whatever in the airbrush. And then if you're closer, it's going to be darker and harder edged. Also, when you're closer, you want to lower the PSI on your pack valve. You lower the airflow because you're more apt to have spidering. So those are different things that we touched on, I think will help you guys and girls on your own airbrush journey. So let's see, make sure we have the right color. We're back to sepia. Okay, so let's see what's going on with the cast shadow from the hand onto the tree. The sepia is like a silver bullet. It really is great. And let's make sure that that's covered. And again, I want to soften it up as it goes from the cast shadow as the tree is turning. So I'm going to increase my distance to like 5 inches. And you see how I get that nice soft turning of the tree. So remember, distance is really your friend. And okay, so now we'll come over here to the hand. Talk to the hands. There we go. And the dark right here underneath her sleeve. And that's pretty darn dark. Put that right there. Okay. And let's see. And I kind of overshot and I have like a buildup. So in that case, I might just take a rag and just lightly pick up the excess. Now remember, I shellacked the paper after the underpainting, so it's not going to be so absorbent. If this was untreated paper, that would have been a real problem. But as it stands now, it's not a big problem. But it just goes to show you that when you're closer, you want to lower the pressure or the airflow at the MAC or pack valve, depending on your airbrush. So we have a freehand stencil right over here, and we're going to create some cast shadows, right? So let's do that. I like the sepia because it has a nice kind of warm greenish value that is helping us. And we'll do a little cast shadow here. And remember, you don't want to oversaturate, so you want to hit and move. You can always go back because we're working in transparency. We can always darken it. So you want to kind of hit and move. That's important. Alright, so we pretty much did good with that. So, well, right here we have this covered. So let's see if we can just hit this dark of the tree. And this way we'll have a nice edge here. Alright, let's lift this up. And actually, we'll just leave that there. And we'll pull this up here. So we've seen some great work from Roy today, some great information, and we got tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we have Mr. Leahy's live stream, 1 o'clock Eastern time, and so I'm going to be there if I can. Nope, I have a class, so no, I could be here in the beginning. My class, nope, my class starts at 1, so I'm going to definitely catch it on the I'm going to catch it, the recorded version, but I would definitely catch it when he's live, and this way you could ask questions, and what better thing than that is, you know? And Mr. Dwayne says, heck, he thinks it's all cool. Is that the weather, sir? You know, my brother, he was a big weather buff, and whenever there was like, you know, all kinds of craziness weather, he was always so excited, you know, with the big snowstorms. I'm going to hit this dark here. Just create some nice contrast. Okay, now let's see if we could work on, like I always say, you know, I like working with the hair. The hair is like, you're going to be painting the hair throughout the whole painting, right? It's not done. It's a work in progress throughout the whole painting. But now I'm going to hit some of these darks, and we're going to use our freehand shield here. Let's see. We want to cover this ear. Let's see what's the best way. And take your time, you'll find it. How to cover that edge. So you might have to crawl along the surface, do one area, right? There we go. Now we have that nice edge reestablished. And now we can come in and darken this area. Just give more body to her hair as we go. And Mr. Dwayne says, well, there's nothing to do about it except roll with it and enjoy what you can. Definitely. I remember when Superstorm Sandy came to the New Jersey, New York area, and that was just, it was just this massive, once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. So scary. I was working for Amazon at the time, and the offices were right on the Hudson, and that building was like underwater. Well, it is a 25-story building, but it was underwater for quite some time. So as you can see, I'm just kind of working on the hair, giving it more detail. Just going to go grab a seltzer. So this seltzer is blackberry. Not bad. I got it at Aldi's. So that's cool. Sugar-free, sodium-free. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to find something that's covering her face. because I want to work on the hair, but I don't want to contaminate the skin tone that we worked so hard in last week's live stream to put in. Overspray is really an insidious enemy, so we want to make sure that we're working hard to circumvent that. So I have some smaller ones, and I'm just going to find this, hopefully. I think I have it, which is great. Okay, so that's good. And we'll use these little magnets to kind of put that there. We're at 11:21 so far, so such a fun live stream, such great conversation, great friends. Got to see some great artwork from Mr. Roy. Mr. Roy got nominations. How cool is that, guys? That was really neat. So Dwayne said he had pouring rain with gusts 70 miles an hour over the weekend and again today. Just be careful, my friend. Make sure you're not driving out in it if you don't have to. You know, that's the scary thing. You know, flash floods and everything. So please make sure you're okay, sir. That's crucial. And I'm just going to put some light on the subject here. See, this is too high. I got to get more magnets. These high ones are causing problems with cast shadow. You know, moving to a different studio, you know, I have different lighting situation, and I have to still growing pains with that. So now we have this dark right here. So let me make sure my airbrush is doing what I wanted to do. Get rid of tip dry. Okay, let's see if we can. That's a nice sound, right? And let's see right here. Bring these magnets close to the edge. And Dwayne said he just looked it up, and 3 more inches of rain will hit our yearly average. Oh my God, that's a lot of rain. Do you have a basement at your place? Is that getting flooded? I hope not. And just see how I'm kind of building up these darks. But you know, I'm setting up for some paintbrush action to hit these lights, and it's going to work out. So like a chess player, this is just getting my pieces in order, you know, to attack. Oh, there are no basements in the area. There is, oh wow, there's no flat land. We have a lot of flat land here. Where I live is like the Meadowlands area of New Jersey. Half of Bergen County is all meadows, you know, like swampland. You know, Little Ferry, Hackensack. I'm in the Little Ferry, Hackensack area. There we go. Now you can see, as we darken her hair, just how light her skin is, right? So, and that kind of coming in with this sepia is really giving us a tonal framework of knowing what we have to do as we continue. But I like the choice of the color, that kind of reddish orange chestnut as the local color of her hair, and then I can go light and dark in both directions. Now this is sepia, and it's not as dark as coming into our darkest darks when we're coming towards the end of the painting, but it's a nice sort of laying out where we have to go. And speaking of the sepia, what I want to do is I want to start hitting some of the darks of this white birch in the closing minutes of the live stream. I always want to give you the full 2 hours, and we have 12 people here today right now at the end of the live stream, and that's always encouraging. And thank you for everyone hanging out, you know, and sticking around. I mean, it's such an honor. And as you can see how the hair is coming, you know, and I'll just bring that. So we're getting a nice balance of, you know, of design here. And so everything is sort of happening. So now what I want to do is I have this one freehand shield of the darks of her tree. Is this her tree? Maybe. Let's see. Put this right here. I like it. Okay, so once you have it, just put one magnet down to keep it in place. And the sepia is a nice dark to build. Remember, another thing I wanted to talk about this live stream is building from light to dark, right? That's what we're doing. We're not going from dark to light. You never want to do that, you know, whether you're working in oils, whatever. You always want to go from light to dark. I know some oil painters go from dark to light, but I don't think it's a very practical approach. You can always go darker, but going lighter is always the son of a gun. So keep that in mind, definitely. And so, oh, so Dwayne says he lives in the coastal hills, nothing flat. Oh, wow. So must be beautiful, though. I'm so glad that you get to live in a beautiful place. I'm not glad that you have to deal with the challenges of the weather. Whoop. Put that here. Okay, so now we have our sepia, and we're going to attack some of the darks of the tree. Now, there's some really nice, interesting texture, but we're not going to be addressing that right now. We're just going to be addressing some of the tonal fabric of this. There are times when I'll go in and I'll worry about, you know, texture, but right now I'm just worrying about the tone and getting these nice dark edges here. I'm still doing the 1 second rule. I don't want to do something totally out of character of this element of the tree. And we'll just move down here. You know, I'm really loving the white birch. It's such a pretty tree. And she's, you know, a beautiful lady. So I think they go together. So we are at 11:29. Mr. Brad says, great live stream, thanks. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the super chat, my friend. Really appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. And I love this stencil that I made from my drawing. And it's just going to kind of help create this whole feeling of the tree and the beautiful contrast of the white birch, you know. And have a great night, Mr. Brad from Manitoba. Okay, so now we are at the end of the live stream. I just want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart hanging out with me. Thank God for letting this happen. Blessing me to be able to do this. And we're just going to take a quick look. Let's see. And we'll lift it. I think we got pretty far today. You know, we worked on her pomegranate, we worked on her hair, we did the jacket, the sweater. We actually were able to work on the dark, some of the shadows, the sepia. Make sure you get some detailed sepia if you haven't by Wicked. It's great. You'll love it for the sketching part of getting this. And thank you so much, Dwayne, for the super chat. Thank you for hanging out. I just want to thank everyone for the support, and I really appreciate everybody. Dave Gregory, thanks for the amazing super chat. Thank you, Brad. Thank you so much, Colette, for the wonderful super chat. Thank you, Mike Rushing. Always a pleasure. Mike McClung. You guys are just great. Everyone who spent time, Raul, everyone, I just want to say have a great week. And I look forward to seeing you around the internet, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I love seeing all your work. And have a very, very good rest of the week. And thank you so much for being a part of my life. I really am honored. And I just want to say thanks. Take care, everybody.